begin. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's First Educator webinar series, Tools and Tips for Virtual STEAM Summer Camps. This webinar will end at 4:30. We all are respecting our busy times. A few notes for you to remember. Our questions session will be at the end. We'll have some time for anyone who has a question, and please use the chat. Sorry, not the chat, the question box that you should have. If you check your screen on the right side, should be a little option with questions. And all these educator series will be recorded, and you will receive a link, and you can find also recording link in our Made in Florida or FLED website. So without further ado, we are going to start with the webinar. Please, next slide. Our agenda for today, we will start with the introductions, online resources, tools for summer camps, and the online platforms and technology will be described also. And at the end will be the question and answer session, as already mentioned to you. I am Danielle Orozco, the Project Manager for the Career and Technical Education, and Dr. Marilyn Barger is our Director, both under Florida Advanced Technology Education Center. And our special guest speaker is Ms. Desh Begley. And she is, we're proud to have her as a guest. She has been with FLED actually before she joined her current position. She was with FLED for quite a few years as a program manager for the STEM summer camps. And she currently serves as the director of the IT Coding Academy at the State College of Florida. She's also the founder of Tech Play Zone, an after-school and summer camp for children interested in technology. Desh has been developing STEM camps for over 15 years, and I will say even more, and is successfully piloted virtual STEM camps for Tech Play Zone. In addition to that, she also has served with the Hillsborough Community College, Tampa EDC, for many, many years, being the support and the coordinator for the summer camps. She was also proudly recognized as the 2020 First Lego League Volunteer of the Year. Thank you, Desh. And has been a program partner in West Florida for 5 years. Next slide, please. We will introduce Dr. Barger. He will tell us about FLED, what we do. And please, Dr. Marilyn Barger.
Okay, thank you, Danielle. So many of you might know FLED as the Florida Advanced Technological Education Center. We were funded by the National Science Foundation for a number of years, and we're now part of the Florida Makes Network with some funding from the Florida Department of Education under their Career and Technical Education for the 21st Century Perkins Act, their state leadership component. And so we're excited to be able to continue our mission and our vision. Thank you for changing. So we're here to really work hard to drive Florida's world-class manufacturing workforce, education, and also with just continuing the work that we've done in the past with curriculum and outreach and recruitment efforts, as well as professional development for educators, all in the manufacturing and STEM world. So I think let's see what's next. So here we go. Sorry, I just did that. The curriculum, professional development and outreach strategies for manufacturing and STEM education. And now I think I'll turn it over to Desh to start talking about the topic of the day.
Thank you, Dr. Barger. Thank you, Danielle. Hi, everybody. I'm excited to be here with you today, talking about tools and tips for virtual camps. We're going to start with just a poll question, and we want to know how many of you have done a virtual camp in the past at any point. So we're going to have our poll open for about 30 seconds or so. And so if you can see that, we want you to let us know your experiences, and then that way I'll have a bit of an idea of our audience today. And we'll take a few more moments for you guys to do the poll. and let us know about your experiences. And while you're doing that poll, I'll just talk a little bit about our experience. I will tell you that when it became evident that we would not be able to offer on-site camps at Hillsborough Community College and wouldn't be able to offer as many students the camp experience on-site for Tech Play Zone, I was a little nervous. I did not know how we were going to pull it off virtually. So let me hear about the polls. Do you have the results for me, Amanda or Danielle? The poll results?
I do. I didn't know if you could see it or not. It says 71% said no, they have never hosted a virtual STEM camp, and 29% said yes. So most people said no.
Most people said no. All right, very good. So this particular webinar will probably pertain to those of you that have not done it yet. But I'm hoping that, especially during our Q&A, we can talk a little bit about your experiences for those 25% that have done it and what it was like. I was nervous, I'll tell you. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to mess up the Tech Play Zone reputation by having a bad virtual camp experience. And one of my sorority sisters from Chicago reached out to me and she said, "What are you waiting on? Let's just do it. You can use my nonprofit as a test market. Let's just do it and see what happens." So I had some support and some encouragement from the Tech Play Zone side of things, so I'm excited about that. And then from the HCC side of things, Dr. Barger and Danielle and HCC Shirley Dobbins, they were like, "We can do this. Let's just put something together. We can get it done." And lo and behold, the summer of 2020 was filled with virtual summer camps for me. And as you can see in this particular photo, on Fridays, we would always try to do something wacky and fun with our campers. And so this was the wacky eyewear day, and everybody just sort of put something on that was really cool. Because after all, it's camp, and camp is supposed to be fun no matter the modality. Regardless of whether we're on site or online, it should always be fun. So just like with your on-site camps, there's some pre-camp planning that'll go on. And not much of it is too different, right? You're gonna think of your topics, you're gonna think of your budget, you're gonna think of your timeline, what day of the week, half day, full day, what do you need to either break even or make a little bit of a profit so that you can reinvest in your program. You're going to think about what platforms you're going to use, and you're also going to think about your staff and your volunteers, right? Making sure that they're ready. And then you're going to communicate. You're going to communicate all sorts of things. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the communication throughout the webinar today. But just know that today's webinar is sort of a high-level view of virtual summer camp. And we can get more in depth if you'll just let us know. Reach out to Flake, reach out to Florida Makes, let them know if you're interested in getting more in depth with some of the things I talked about today, and we can hopefully make that happen. You're going to hear me talk about marketing and media and really bragging on yourself and really taking that brave step to tell people what you are going to do, even if you have no idea how you're going to pull it off, because that's exactly where I started. I had some goals and visions about what I wanted to do, and I started telling people, but I didn't quite know how we were going to get there. But when you share your ideas with others, I got to tell you, there's a lot of support that comes along the way with people helping you to make your dream a reality. So as you can see, I have on this slide, right, an example of a flyer that we gave out to our participants. And this slide has information about Zoom, information about system requirements, information about the weeks and the days and the times and who we were targeting. So I tried to put as much information on the slide as I could, on the flyer as I could, so that our participants would know what to expect. But then at the same time, I did have those phone calls with parents to say, here's some things you're going to need in order for your child to participate. And I just got to tell y'all, I didn't even accept any money. I would not have anybody register if they didn't exactly understand what the system requirements would be, because I didn't want anybody to pay and not be able to participate. It just wouldn't be a good experience. So that would be my first communication type of thing. Make sure everybody understands the system requirements. And then, of course, there's a lot of collaboration and celebration that goes on with the virtual camp, and we'll talk about that some more as well. So here were our topics: robotics, game design, Minecraft, coding, electronics, and 3D design. And I'll hit on all of these topics just, a little bit, and we can go more in depth on a future series. But just take a look at the flyers that are on this screen, and it gave a lot of our campers ideas about what we would be doing, and that got them excited. So that's how we were able to get quite a few people to register and participate in a virtual camp, because they had a chance to see what our topics would be. So let's start with camp platforms. In 2020, hardly any of us knew how to do a Zoom or a team meeting. When my sorority sister reached out to me and told me to join her on Teams, I said, what is Teams? I don't know what you're talking about. Do you mean Zoom? And she's like, no, there's more things that you can use other than just Zoom. So you're gonna choose your platform that fits your camp audience, and you're gonna choose the technology that fits your camp audience. Not pictured here are tablets and iPads. And I don't know what I was thinking when I made this slide, but please be mindful that not only will your audience members have laptops and MacBooks, but they're also going to have Chromebooks and tablets and iPads. And when you're putting your camp together, you want to keep those various platforms in mind. Our first resource is the First at Home list of applications and programs that are free. In the handout, you know what I should have mentioned, in the handout section, we put a copy of all of my slides as a handout for you, and the handout has clickable links. So the same links that you're seeing online right now, in the handout section, you can download that after we're done, and you'll be able to click on these links and go to these same websites that I'm showing. But this is First at Home, and First at Home has a listing of beginner to intermediate resources, intermediate to advanced resources. And I like these because most of them are free, and most of them you're able to use on a variety of platforms. So anything from Scratch and Hour of Code, when we talk about programming, to Arduino, when we talk about intermediate electronics. Arduino is a great platform. And so there are resources on First at Home to help you get started. And lots of them have tutorials. So even if you're not sure, or if the staff members that you're hiring aren't quite sure about how to do these things, there are great tutorials and curriculum for educators and for the mom or the dad or the mentor. You can reach out and learn those things. So that's First at Home. And I was not trying to go to the First at Home website, but there it is. So that just goes to show you that it is a clickable link, and this is what it looks like. And as you scroll down, you'll get a chance to see all of the remaining resources. Let me go on to the next slide. See if I can start it here. There we go. So our next resource is called Virtual Robotics, right? Everybody loves robots, me included. And I really struggled to figure out how can we do a robotics camp without the campers having access to the robot. So I did some research, and I decided to show you guys these 3 resources. Although there are more out there, I chose these 3 just because they're easy and they're free for the most part. So we start with vr.vex.com. Vex is a company that sells robots, and they made a simulator on their website where you can program your robot in block code and then run the simulation, and you would actually see the robot going through the various challenges. They have different playgrounds. That's what they call them, playgrounds. And so your robot could go through a maze, or it can try to do a challenge with castles and pick up things and use sensors. But it's all simulated, and it's all browser based, and it's free. So I love vr.vex.com. Next is makecode.mindstorms. This uses the EV3 simulator. So your campers aren't actually running the robot with the EV3 simulator on MakeCode, but they are learning how sensors work, how motors work, how the display works, how to create sounds on the EV3. If your campers happen to have EV3s at home, wonderful. They can use the code from this particular website on their own robots, but if they don't, there's a simulator there that will allow them to learn how to start programming robots. And then finally, there's CoderZ, gocoders.com. CoderZ is not free. However, Amazon Future Engineers has partnered with CoderZ to offer a free robotics challenge. So it's called the Amazon Cyber Robotics Challenge. I'm hoping it'll still be available during the summer, but it's definitely free here. And you can use the EV3 and the Amazon robots to do some really cool things. So those are free resources. Moving on, I'd like to share with you Tinkercad. Now, if you've run a virtual summer camp, I'm pretty sure you're probably raising your hand right about now saying, yeah, I've used Tinkercad. Tinkercad is a 3D design browser-based software. It allows students to make, to turn their 2D objects into 3D objects. Wonderful if you have 3D printers at your disposal, but even if you don't, most students enjoy seeing their creations in 3D form. The wonderful thing about Tinkercad is not only is it for 3D design, it's also for Arduino electronics. So there's a simulated Arduino, which is like a mini computer, a microprocessor. That's what Arduino is. There's a simulated Arduino inside Tinkercad. So your students can start to learn about circuits and LED lights and sounds and resistors, right? And so it's really cool because it is simulated. If you wanted to purchase Arduinos, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later on as far as hybrid camps, but if you wanted to spend $30, right, and have Arduino for your campers, and each of them just sort of takes one home, Tinkercad can also help you come up with curriculum and ideas and challenges for the Arduino. And then finally, the best thing ever is that Tinkercad now has modding for Minecraft. If you have not heard of Minecraft, please look into it. Minecraft is one of the best things ever for our campers. It allows them to think critically about what they're building and what they're designing. It also allows them to work with circuits and computer science and logic. There's this element within Minecraft called redstone. So kids love building with redstone and Minecraft. And Tinkercad allows them to create something in Tinkercad and then export it into their Minecraft world. Super cool, and it's free. You got to use this particular software called MC Edit. So you would download MC Edit. There's a tutorial. There's some ideas there to get you started. So you're not starting from scratch, but it is available to you for free. And all of these things are used in summer camps all over, right? So it's not like we would be the first ones trying it. They have been used and proven, and they're really fun. So since we're talking about Tinkercad and Minecraft, let's just move into Minecraft. Minecraft, I will tell you, it's just super fun. You can have your own server, and again, Minecraft itself is not free. It costs $26 to get the Java edition of the PC Minecraft. So what I told my parents ahead of time was go ahead and purchase the right edition. Choose Java edition for the PC. But once they did that, our facilitators were able to make a free server so that our campers could all join in on the server. So the server didn't cost us any money. I got to tell you, I do not know much about Minecraft, but there are some high school students and some collegiate students who know Minecraft like nobody's business. And so what I do is I actually hire a teacher to be on the camp with the campers, right? And then I get some high school or some college student to actually do all of the heavy lifting. And my staff, my teachers add in the academics. They add in the ideas about Boolean logic and about simple machines and gravity and aerodynamics, because all of those topics can be covered in Minecraft. But I definitely had to hire somebody to actually teach the Minecraft part of it, because we couldn't, but we could add on all of the supplementals. And that's probably the same with most things, right? You guys might not be as familiar with 3D printing, but you can find somebody that's good with 3D printing and you add in the academic supplementals. And we do that a lot at Tech Play Zone. Hybrid model camps. Hybrid model means the campers actually have tools at home that they can use, but they're getting their camp experience through a virtual environment. So we did that with the gracious support of UB Tech Education that provided their robots at a reduced cost, a Tampa-based STEM network that provided some scholarships for some of our girls and also helped to buy the equipment, the Hillsborough Education Foundation, and Women in Defense. So we had some great sponsors that came on board to allow us to give kits to the all-girls camp. The girls got to keep their kits and loan robotic kits to the high schoolers. So our high school camp had about 24 campers, and 6 of those campers were girls. So we were really excited about that. So the high school campers picked up their kits from me at Hillsborough Community College. And then at the end of the week, they brought the kits back. And they brought the kits back already in the formation of what we had built over that week. And the reason why I had them keep them in the same formation is so that I could easily inventory them. So I'm going to say this to anybody that's doing a hybrid type camp. If you need to get your equipment back, have them keep it in the same shape that you're expecting to see it at the end of the week. That way you can make sure all of your motors are there, your sensors are there, your microprocessor is there, your cables are there. And it's also easy to disinfect, because it was just me with a can of Lysol spray, right? And I just sprayed everything down. I let it sit out for a few hours, and then I took everything to my office to store. And then you can take the parts and pieces apart after that. But it's easy to inventory as long as they give them back to us in a format that we're expecting to see. So that was us with the UB Tech. Online camp does require quite a bit of collaboration when you're working with your middle school and high school students. My elementary campers didn't need a whole lot of collaboration. They were fine with their Scratch projects. They were just great with the Robo virtual worlds that we did for robotics. But my middle schoolers and high schoolers, they wanted a bit more. Some of them were at higher levels, some of them were at lower levels. So it was nice to be able to use Padlet in order to keep the camp resources online, so students can see what they were going to be doing from day to day. We had slideshows. We could share the code with them, so if they got stuck, they could look at the Padlet and see where they were supposed to be. We had videos there and graphic organizers. We had a camp sponsor, Nuts, Bolts, and Thingamajigs. And Nuts and Bolts Thingamajigs, they were very helpful in giving us some entrepreneurship curriculum. And so we were able to talk about James Dyson and entrepreneurship. And we even had pictures of what the robot should look like in case the campers got stuck. Flipgrid is the second collaboration tool that we used with our middle school and high school campers. And this allows them to take videos of their robots. And so we were able to see, and everybody was able to celebrate all of the wonderful things that the campers had done. They could show us their program running. They could show us their program not running. And it also helped us troubleshoot when there was trouble, because they could upload a video, we could look it over and send them information about what we thought they should do to go to the next step. So that's Flipgrid. And then finally, I talk about those camp celebrations, right? That campers want to have fun with one another, and they want to have fun with their sponsors. So invite the sponsors to your end of week celebration meeting. Allow the campers to give a presentation and talk about what they've learned. Take screenshots, right? I am the queen of a screenshot. Take screenshots so that people in the media, people in the community can see what you've done with your campers. And then that way you get more support for the next summer. So I think this is my last slide, and I'm going to pass it over to Dr. Barger, and she will talk about Made in Florida resources.
Okay, hi everyone. Can you hear me? I think I was muted. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So we do have, Flate does have some resources. We still are running the Made in Florida website, which has resources about careers and manufacturing and STEM and lots of interesting things, especially Manufacturing Month, etc. And we also host a wiki page where we have resources that can be downloaded, lesson plans and resources for working with recruiting girls, industry tours. You can see the icon there and the link. So we invite you to check some of those out as you need, ones that are appropriate for your level. And I think we're going to do the poll. We're going to do the poll first. Is it time to do the poll?
Yes, let's do a poll. So We're
I
gonna
just launched it.
Cool. So the poll is, out of the information that you've heard about this summer, this webinar, what do you think you might be able to use? Do you think you might be able to use some of the resources that we've shared? So that's a quick poll.
A quick yes or no poll. So I'll give you just half a minute here to respond to that. It'd be really nice if you would jot in the question and answer box or in the chat box which thing you're really going to explore, which of the resources Desh shared you would like to use, and also if you're interested in more information on any of those tools or another separate webinar on some of those tools. Oh, look at that, 100%.
100% said yes.
A+ for everyone. All right. Okay, thanks, Amanda and Dish. So I want to thank everyone here. We do have another webinar in this series, and if you've made some suggestions, we might have even more. We have a follow-up about funding for your tech summer programs, online or otherwise, but this one will focus on just ways and interesting resources that you might tap into to support your summer programs for STEM. Desh mentioned a few, the Nuts Bolts Thingamajigs Foundation, for example, the local foundation she mentioned, but this next session next month will focus on those types of resources and how to strategize to get them, get people to give you money to do your fun summer programs. It's really great to have an alternative for the camp. So any questions from the audience?
We have a few. We have Greg. He asked where he can find the handout, and hopefully by now he read my answer in the chat box. I could not type in the question. It is right below the question panel. You will see a little handout. There's only one. If you click there, you will be able to download the handouts. And if you haven't been able to do so, just contact any of us and I will be happy to email you that together with the link for the recording. So everyone, recordings will be available soon. Perhaps you will be receiving an email with all these resources and the link to the recordings. Also, I have put in the chat box the links if you want to visit us with all these resources and more out of flate.org or Made in Florida, and also Florida Makes websites. And okay, Zara said definitely she will check our resources. Let me see, I just read half of the question. My handout section is just about the, oh, she's explaining where. Okay, they found it. Excellent. Excellent. Any other question, please let us know. We have a few minutes left. Seems like everybody's pretty excited with the resources, Dej. And
Awesome.
very,
This has
very
been really fun. I definitely want to thank Flate and Florida Makes for having me. And I'm glad that everybody tuned in. And if you have any questions at all in the future, please feel free to reach out to me. My information is there. It's also in the handouts. And this has been really fun.
and please
Getting more
remember,
fun for summer.
yes, to register to our coming webinar, February 18. Again, same time, 4 to 4:30.
Right. Can you put that in the chat, the link, Danielle? I don't have access to the chat. I don't know if you have it handy.
Yeah, I can. Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do.
And I
I'm
think
so
it's
slow.
here too on this
Oh, it's
flyer.
here. It's on the
Yeah.
slide. Sorry, it is here on this slide.
It is
If you
also in the handout is live
Yeah.
links. You can click there and will take you directly to the registration link.
Exactly.
Right.
And if you go to Florida Makes Events website, the link is there too. You will see not only that, but way more events that we'll be holding in this spring. I mean, we have really interesting and interactive events coming in this spring. Well, once again, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Desh, especially you, for this awesome presentation webinar. And thank you to all participants for joining us this afternoon. Take some precious time of your busy schedule to join us. So till the next one, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Dr. Barker. Bye. Have a wonderful rest of the week.
Have a nice afternoon.